All right, I just want to speak on how you already are who you are before you come here. When you plant a flower, a fruit, a vegetable, it's already encoded with the size, the shape, the color, even the climate that it's able to be grown in is already destined and defined before anybody touches it. It was already defined. The color of a rose, without a rose having a title of a rose, it was already what it was. So this is the illusion that we have to deal with in this 3D matrix, because our, you know what I'm saying, our DNA is already encoded with who we are. We already are who we are, but the illusion that we're not who we are gets us. So all of these planetary energies stem from a root. They all stem from an essence. They all stem from an essence. So it don't matter whether you like working on cars, you like dancing, you like working at hospitals, you like nurturing people. All of these things come back to a planetary energy. They come back to an essence, a source, before man put a title on it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come who you are because you gained a title. And that's how we living, which is backwards. You know what I'm saying? You were already defined before you came here. That's like a rose ain't defined already, a potato, an apple. Anything that you plant is not already defined. We needed a title for it? No, we didn't. So do we need certificates? Huh? I mean, yeah, we needed to maneuver in this matrix, but we shouldn't feel validated by these titles. We shouldn't feel validated by these organizations, because ultimately they don't give us the power. They just found a way to feed off of the validation. They wanted to be the validators, but the creator already validated us. The creator already validated us. You know what I'm saying? So this video ain't gonna be for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just speaking though. I know the people that get me. But what I'm saying is you're already who you are. Like, you just have to break away from these paradigms. That's like me. I used to came from a hard background, rough neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I used to be doing the same shit that all the hundreds of other people was doing in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I really thought that was me. You know what I'm saying? When that neighborhood ultimately had defined me because of my actions, my characteristics, how I used to dress, the people I associated with, all stemmed from that environment that I was raised in. But before I was put into that environment, I was already defined. I was already who I was. It was the illusion of me not knowing who I was that got me into certain scenarios that led me back to who I was, to waking up to see who I really am. So what really helped me really you know what I'm saying, is when I got away. When I got away to myself and I was to myself, I was actually able to cling only onto me and the source, the creator. Like, it wasn't buddies that I grew up with. It wasn't ideologies that my family raised me on, that, you know what I'm saying, that I grew up with in the neighborhood. Like, I was heavily cultured with that neighborhood and all of that stuff, like in the hood and all that. But when I got to get away, I got to flourish. You know what I'm saying? Like any seed, you have to water your gifts. Like, you have to water those gifts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just like with your children, they already are who they are. Like, so you don't have to make your child into anything. Like, that's what causes friction when you try to place your lifestyles on your child lifestyle. They were already defined like a rose. How can you redefine a rose? It's already defined. You know what I'm saying? You can't define everything is already defined. Animal, everything is already defined. Like, so it's on us to be able to understand the essence of it. You know what I'm saying? To tap into it, to where we don't tarnish it. Like, so now I'm untarnished now. When you hear me speaking now, I'm untarnished. Like, because I can see, you know what I'm saying, the bigger picture in all things without without a filter. Like, I'm just looking at how the creator designed things, and that's what I'm aligning with. I'm not aligning with my own ideologies of who I'm from, where I'm from, because who gave me these ideas? Ultimately, all you're doing is aligning with energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even if you're traveling out of town, all of this stuff is is within you. It's a genetic coding within you. You know what I'm saying? For you to do what you do. It's like birds fly for the winter. It's a genetic coding. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need humans to tell them to do that. Like, we are who you are. You don't need a facility to define you. You don't need a person to define you. You don't need clothes to define you. If you have anything that's outside of you defining you, you are not you. You feel me? So that's what we have to understand. Before organization, before institution, before a goddamn piece of paper, you was already who you are. They just made a way to capitalize off that. So, you know what I mean? Like, you don't even feel good. Like, people could be doing shit all their life. Like, you could be working on cars all your life or helping people all your life, and people know you for that. But until you get a fucking certificate or until you get some type of, you know what I'm saying, recognition with that from a facility or organization or a top person in that field, you don't even seem valuable to a lot of people, which is fucked up because that's backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, that don't mean you can, like, a rose needs a title for us to appreciate it. You can't appreciate a rose already for what it is without the title on it. Like, you feel me? So that's you. You got to be appreciative on your gifts, your own talents, and be able to water that. These eccentric things that you do, that's you to the fullest. You got to express yourself. So all of these things send us in a loophole because we suppress ourselves, all because of the environments we around, the people that we grow up around. You know what I'm saying? So we have to ultimately, like, just sit back and take a deep breath and really just be mindful of how things are already divine. You cannot be yourself. That's like a fucking lizard. A lizard cannot be a lizard. It is what it is. Man made the word lizard, but as far as the energy, the essence of what it is, you can't change that. You can't define it because it's already defined. The fact that we let man define shit for us fucks it up. And you can see how many people are living a man-made defined life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people walk around wanting to be defined. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how we living right now. But it's just some gems, man. I know a lot of people are depressed, but because they feel like they're suppressing themselves or they're not themselves. The environment is not accepting them. But ultimately, man, we're already encoded. You're already who you are when you're born. That's like a rose is already a rose when it's born. When you planting crops, the crops are already what they are. You either watering them properly or you're not. So a lot of people, seeds, their genetic coding is not being watered. So the fact that it's not being watered, they have the illusion that there's something else. That's the illusion. You can only be you. You can't be anything else. You can only be what the energy is in you. You can only define the planetary energy that's inside of you. That's what you're going to continually express. That's why you see yellow flowers, white flowers. They're expressing the genetic coding that's inside of them. That's you. When you speak, when you're doing what you love to do, you're expressing the genetic coding that's inside of you. Whatever that is you like to do, music, whatever, that's a part of you. And these are characteristics that we can see how they play out. And they need to be watered. You might want to be a singer, but if it's not getting watered, that environment makes you feel like that's not you. Like, come on now. You're not going to pursue it. You're going to feel like that's not for you. You're going to get a goddamn a janitor job or something, or something else. You're going to play the backseat because you're letting the outside define you. Don't let the outside define you. Like, please. We don't need any more people like that that's letting the outside define them. I grew up like that, letting the outside define me. You feel me? Like, don't let that define you. You define who you are, but you can't do that until you learn that peace. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn peace. You have to be at peace with who you are. Outside can't be your peace. Like, if you don't have peace in your own mind, inside your own body, what the fuck can any institution give you? What can any relationship give you? You know what I'm saying? What can a child give you? Some people think they need peace to have a baby to have peace. So this is just something quick, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to drop this, but you already are who you are, you know what I'm saying? And embrace that holistically, you know? Listen to that voice in you. I'm out.